Women say they want a nice guy, but they end up choosing the bad guy. And this woman here is about to explain why. But we have some comments and criticism on the answer, on the reason that she gave. Let's get to it.
The bad boy archetype has really owned this animalistic side to him, and it speaks directly to a woman's neurology, biology, and biochemistry.
Okay, that's interesting. The bad guy owns his animalistic side to him, and this animalistic side of him speaks directly to the woman's neurology. Neurology means her brain wiring. So the badness, the toxicity of the bad guy, the animalistic nature of the bad guy speaks to the woman's brain wiring. That can mean only one thing. The animal nature in the bad guy speaks to the animal nature in the woman. That is why she instinctively responds to the animal nature in the bad guy, to the animal behavior of the bad guy. So the woman is admitting that she has an animal nature in her, and she wants to experience it. She wants to feel it. That is why she responds to the bad guy who owns his animal nature. But there are so many implications to this. And one of these implications is that, does that mean the woman like when she's treated like an animal instead of a civilized person living in a civilized society? Because if she's instinctively respond to the animal nature with the bad guy and choosing the bad guy because he taps into her animalistic nature, because she also has an animal nature in her. So one of the implications is that, does that mean that she likes, she loves, she desires when the bad guy treat her like an animal, like a piece of meat? And since she also has the same animalistic nature in her, does she in turn see the bad guy and treat the bad guy as a piece of meat because she's also owning into her animalistic nature? These are some of the implications that we see so far based on what we've heard so far. Let's listen some more.
But, and big but, he typically has not done the inner work to also have an open heart while he's owning this animalistic side to him.
Okay, why would he do any inner work to have an open heart when his animalistic instinct, his animalistic nature speaks directly to the woman's neurology, brain wiring? What will an open heart give him that he's not already getting by his animalistic instinct? We all know what the animalistic nature wants. The animalistic nature wants flesh, raw flesh, the flesh between her legs, the pussycat. That's what the animalistic werewolf wants. That's what the beast wants. And that's what she wants. She's attracted by this type of attention from the animalistic nature. She desires it. She even seeks it itself. We all know that's what her own animalistic nature wants. So what would an open heart do for him? If the woman is already naturally, instinctively, biochemically responding to this animalistic nature that wants flesh. The woman herself is responding to his animalistic nature that wants flesh. So the woman herself is into her animalistic nature and she wants flesh herself. She wants the same flesh that the man wants. We know what flesh she wants. Yeah, the same flesh that between the man's leg. She wants that too. And that's why she's responding to this animalistic nature. So what open heart would the bad boys do? And besides, the woman herself needs to do some sort of a inner work. And she's not doing it. Because what she wants, what she means by an open heart is for the man to tap into his human nature, his human side, his civilized nature. Why? His human emotional nature. Why? That's what open heart means. Open heart means you have to be more civilized, more accommodating, more human. Because what separates us from the animals is our ability to socialize at a higher cognitive level. To socialize at a higher cognitive level. This inner work. What separates us from the animals is our ability to control our lower basal instincts, our animalistic instincts, to form higher levels of social interactions and form societies. That's what separates us from the animals. That's the kind of inner works we need to do to separate us from the animals. I mean, what separates us from the animals is our ability to regulate our powerful instinctual drives, our animalistic nature and desires, and use that energy for more productive goals and purposes, such as building tools in the physical structures and edifices of civilizations. That's what separates us from the animals. This is the type of inner works you have to do. But the woman herself is doing no inner work. She's not controlling her inner drive. She's not controlling her instinctual, animalistic response to the bad boy's animalistic nature. She's not controlling nothing. She did no inner work. So why should the bad boy do any inner work when you are responding to his animalistic nature? When you are giving way to your animalistic response? So why should the bad boy do it?
So a woman might say that she wants a very nice man, but it's the polarity that the bad boy archetype creates that actually activates a deeper part of her subconscious mind, and that wins out every time.
Ross, what do women really want?
I don't care what they want. I only care what they respond to. See, my focus is a little bit different from your other guests. There's what women say they want, there's what women think they want, and then there's what they actually respond to.
Unless the woman does the inner work to control the animal within and the animalistic response to the bad boy's animalistic nature, then her animal nature will win every time. Unless she exercises control over her own animalistic nature, then that animalistic nature will always win. And if she's not doing the inner work to control the animal within, then she cannot complain if the bad boys also doesn't do any inner work to have more an open heart, because she doesn't do any inner work to have an open heart for the nice guy. The woman is doing no inner work to have an open heart for the nice guy who has an open heart. So why should the bad boys do the inner work to have an open heart when you, as a woman, is not doing the inner work to have an open heart for the nice guy? It makes no sense.
Why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye but fail to notice the beam in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, "Let me take the speck out of your eye," while there is still a beam in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the beam out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye.
How can you say to bad boys, "Oh, you're blind because you're not doing the inner work," while you are equally blind because you're not doing the inner work to have an open heart for the nice guy? You are not doing any inner work to have self-control over your animalistic instinct. In the same way, the bad guy is not doing any inner work to have an open heart. Why? Because you both want the same thing. You both want to give in to your animalistic instinct, to animalistic drives, your animalistic desires and nature.
Now, the nice guys, they usually have far more of an open heart and actually usually a highly sensitive nervous system.
Far more an open heart and a highly sensitive nervous system. So are you saying that the nice guy has more an open heart than you women? And is more sensitive than you? I mean, is that what you're saying? So is that what you do not choose the nice guy because they are too sensitive, they are more sensitive than you? And you do not like someone who is more sensitive than you because you do not have enough open heart. You do not have enough open heart, enough sensitivity in you as a woman to be attuned to someone who is highly sensitive toward you. Because that is who the nice guy is sensitive toward. It's toward you. The nice guy has an open heart toward you and is highly sensitive nervous system toward you. But then you do not want that because you yourself as a woman do not have an open heart and you do not have a sensitive nervous system. Perhaps that's the reason why you choose the beast. You choose the bad guy who is owning his inner beast, his inner animalistic nature. Because your nervous system is not sensitive to the sensitive nature of the nice guy, but your nervous system is sensitive toward the beast nature, the hardness of the beast. Your neurology is not sensitive toward the sensitivity of the nice guy, but rather your neurology is sensitive toward the hardcore animalistic nature of the bad guy. Your neurology is sensitive to bad, not to good. This is what you're saying. And if your neurology and your biochemistry are sensitive to bad and not to good, then that means the nice guy has more sensitive nature than you. The nice guy has more an open heart than you. And perhaps that is the reason why you chose the beast. Because, your neurology is not sensitive to the niceness of the nice guy, to the good nature of the nice guy, but to the bad nature of the beast, of the bad guy, the bad nature of the bad guy. See, this is what modern women is saying right now. They're saying that in this modern time, our nervous system is going backward to the time when we used to live in caves, when we were to desire the cave beast, the cavemen. The woman is saying that today, as modern women, we are more attuned to our animal nature, to our animalistic nature and animalistic drives and desires, than to our open heart human nature. There are many implications to this for society. Very, very, very interesting and powerful implication to this for society. Because society is run on men controlling the beast within. But if half of the society, the women who make up half of society, have within their own inner nature, their own neurological inner nature, is being sensitive toward badness, well, society sooner or later will crumble. It's obvious.
But he's holding back. He's not fully standing in his truth.
He's holding back, meaning he has self-control. That's exactly what he's doing. Holding back meaning he has self-control. He's holding back the animalistic nature. He's controlling it. He has self-control over his animalistic nature. So why don't you also hold back too from your animalistic response to the bad boys? Why don't you hold back too? You should be holding back. What's the problem? You should also be holding back against your animalistic response, your unconscious response to the bad boys' animalistic nature. So it's like you're living on your unconscious mind. You're not fully human yet. You have not yet done the inner work to be a self-actualized human being. You don't care about that. It's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You live on the basal. What you're saying that you live and enjoy living in a base animalistic level, because you haven't done no open heart. You haven't done any inner work within yourself to have an open heart toward the nice guy who is controlling himself. Yeah, he's holding himself back. He's holding himself back to self-control. Why don't you hold yourself back to self-control against your animalistic response to the bad guy, to the bad boy? It's interesting that you're not doing that. It's interesting that women are not doing that.
He may be trapped in a really painful childhood, or maybe painful past relationships. Or maybe he's just so busy worrying that he's fallen short of his
He's trapped too. He's not trapped nowhere. This is not called trapped. That's called owning. That's called controlling. Trapped where? He's not trapped nowhere. Why don't you say that the bad boy is trapped in his animalistic nature? You didn't say that the bad boy is trapped in his animalistic nature, but the nice guy is trapped. The nice guy who is controlling his animalistic nature, because he's living in society based on the regulation of society to control your animalistic nature, your basal instinct, in order to form society with other human being. How come you be trapped when you're using your higher cognitive abilities? I'm trapped by using higher cognitive abilities. What? By controlling my animalistic nature, I'm trapped. No, I'm exercising power over myself. That's what I'm saying. Power over my basal instinct. I'm not trapped. I have control. I have self-control. But you're trying to shame him. That's a form of shaming the man. You're trying to shame him so as not to see yourself as a bad girl. Because if you are attracted to the bad guy, you are a bad girl. You don't want to see yourself as a bad girl. You don't want people to see you as a bad girl who's attracted to the bad guy. Now you're trying to turn to the nice guy and shaming to remove attention from yourself. That is some weird thing going on here right there. Very some weird thing. Very interesting thing. That's some female psychology. That's female logic 101. Let's continue. Let's listen some more.
Potential that he ends up holding back in every aspect of his life, including this animalistic part that women not only crave, but they need.
Yes, he's holding back on this animalistic nature that women crave, not only crave, but they need. They crave it. Why do they crave it? Well, of course, they crave it because it speaks to their own animalistic nature. Why? It speaks to it. So that means women want to give in to the baser animalistic nature. And that's why they crave it. I mean, they crave it and they need it. So the question we should ask is like, why do women need more? Why do women crave more? Right? Do they crave the animal side more than they crave the human side? Why? So they don't need the human side. They don't want to have control over their own baser instinct. They don't want to become self-actualized humans. They want to remain in the animalistic mindset, behavior pattern, and instinctual drives. Because becoming human requires you to have accountability, to have responsibility, to be thinking in a higher level, think of thought patterns, right? To do away with, to control your baser instincts, to regulate your instinctual desires. That's what humans do, right? So you do not want to control yourself. Your desires, oh, it's so boring. It's not pleasant. It's not exciting enough to control your animalistic nature. Why? Why? You want to the more exciting part is to give in to your animalistic nature. To run wild and free in the wilderness. Woo! Like a werewolf. How interesting. Let's continue.
Typically for this man, his past experiences of being not accepted in one way or another make him believe that being accepted currently is more important than tapping into his truth. There is part 1 right before this and part 3 is coming, so make sure you follow me.
That's interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. So it's not because the nice guy lacks animalistic nature. No, the nice guy has animalistic nature in him. The nice guy has equal amount of animalistic nature in him as the bad guy. But the nice guy exercises control over his animalistic nature more than the bad guy. Yet, women do not like him because of that control, because of self-control. Because women do not like control. They do not like self-control. The idea of control, of controlling the beast within, of controlling things, of controlling chaos, of putting order, doesn't speak to women's neurology. Chaos speaks to women's neurology, not order. That's the reason why the women choose the bad guy more than they choose the nice guy. Because the nice guys exercise self-control. The nice guy deal with control, not with chaos. The bad guys deal with chaos, not with control. So the women who love chaos more than control choose the bad guys. Because the bad guys speak to the neurology, the brain wiring. The brain wiring is about, the brain is wired chaotically. The brain desires chaos. The brains feel more satisfied in chaos, in randomness, in spontaneity. The brain lacks that. The brain loves randomness and spontaneity. That's why the brain is wired. That's why the bad guy who speaks in randomness, in spontaneity and chaos, speaks more to the neurology and to the unconscious mind than the nice guy who controls his chaos, who controls his animalistic nature. That's all it is. Choose this day whom you shall serve. And most modern women have chosen to serve the bad guy, to serve the animalistic nature, to give the wombs and the bodies to the bad guys. It is what it is. Until next time, stay safe and healthy.